Hi, this is Craig Allen, and today we're going to take a ride on one of the world's most famous ferries, the Staten Island Ferry.
Attention, please. Welcome aboard the Staten Island Ferry. Please take a moment and pay attention to the following safety announcements. During docking, stay off the stairs, ramps, and landings until the is along the cabin walls. See instructions for their use, which are posted in red frames throughout the ferry. For assistance, see uniformed crew members located on each deck. Thank you for riding the Staten Island.
Ever since it began carrying passengers in 1905, for the past 120 years, the Staten Island Ferry remains the only free direct mass transit method for traveling between Manhattan and Staten Island. Every year, over 22 million passengers travel the 5.2-mile ride across New York City's Upper Harbor between Manhattan's Whitehall Terminal at the Battery and St. George's Terminal in Richmond Terrace on Staten Island. From the port side, that's the left side for all you non-nautical passengers, you're heading south to Staten Island and you're looking east. You could see downtown Brooklyn, the BQE, which is the Brooklyn-Queens Expressway, the two ventilation towers for the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel, that runs beneath the harbor between Brooklyn to Lower Manhattan, Brooklyn Heights, Cobble Hill, Red Hook, Sunset Park, Bay Ridge, Fort Hamilton, and Governor's Island all are visible. During weekdays, nearly 70,000 passengers take the 25-minute one-way trip between New York City's two smallest boroughs. Over a 24-hour period, 5 different ferry boats make a total of 117 transits, and on weekends, 3 of the fleet's 10 boats make a total of 96 daily trips. New York Harbor, which consists of 2 parts, the upper and lower harbors, is formed where the Hudson River meets the East River at the southernmost tip of Manhattan. It's also known as the Battery, or South Ferry, and flows southward. Governor's Island, which is officially part of the borough of Manhattan, is a 172-acre island in the harbor, of which 12 acres are run by the National Park Service, and the other 150 acres are a public park operated jointly by the Trust for Governor's Island. It has 52 historical buildings. Raritan Bay, Sandy Hook Bay, and Rockaway Inlet form the lower bay, after passing the Verrazano Narrows Bridge, and that bridge connects Brooklyn's Fort Hamilton neighborhood with Staten Island's Fort Wadsworth, and it leads out into the Atlantic Ocean. Are used on a regular basis. They're named after prominent people or places related to Staten Island. The Dorothy Day was named for a native of Staten Island and a journalist and activist who died in 1980. Sandy Ground was named to honor the rich history of black New Yorkers living on Staten Island and in an area now known as Rossville on the southern shore. Staff Sergeant Michael H. Alice was named in honor of the New Dorp resident who was killed in 2013 while serving in Afghanistan for the U.S. Army's 2nd Battalion. And we also have the Senator John J. Markey and the Spirit of America. Raritan Bay, Sandy Hook Bay, and Rockaway Inlet form the lower bay after passing the Verrazano Narrows Bridge, and that bridge connects Brooklyn's Fort Hamilton neighborhood with Staten Island's Fort Wadsworth, and it leads out into the Atlantic Ocean. The ferry is now approaching the docking area at Staten Island. St. George's Terminal in Richmond Terrace is the terminus at Staten Island, where passengers leave the ferry and can connect with buses or the Staten Island Railway to access other parts of the island. Nearby places of interest include the National Lighthouse Museum, St. George's Theater, Richmond County Bank Ballpark, and the Staten Island September 11th Memorial. Welcome aboard, everyone. I'm Craig Allen, and we are now going to depart Staten Island. The trip from Staten Island to Manhattan is going to provide beautiful views of the Bayonne shipyards, the Goethals Bridge that connects Staten Island to Elizabeth, New Jersey, Ellis Island, Liberty Island, the home of the Statue of Liberty, Jersey City, New Jersey, the Coast Guard station at the Battery, and a spectacular view of the lower Manhattan skyline. You know, the skyline for downtown Jersey City could almost be mistaken for the New York City skyline, except it's on the opposite side of the Hudson River. Now, after Newark, Jersey City is the second largest city in New Jersey, and it has a population of nearly 300,000 people. It's home to the Liberty Science Center and Journal Square. Liberty Island is the island where you could see one of the most recognized statues in the world, the Lady of the Harbor, the Statue of Liberty. Although its official name became Statue of Liberty National Monument, Ellis Island and Liberty Island back in 1956, it was originally known as Bedloe's Island. Its most famous resident is the 305-foot-tall copper statue known as Lady Liberty. The Statue of Liberty was a gift given to the United States back in 1886 by the people of France in honor of the 100th anniversary of the United States. Although it's a mere 2,000 feet from the Jersey City Liberty State Park, it's officially part of New York State, borough of Manhattan, which is 1.6 miles southwest of the Battery itself. When asked, where's the Statue of Liberty Island located? According to the USCIS, any of the following answers are acceptable: New York Harbor, New Jersey, New York, New York City. Ellis Island, located between New York and New Jersey and owned by the federal government, it's actually part of the Statue of Liberty National Monument. It was the primary immigration inspection and processing station for immigrants entering the United States, and from 1892 until its closing in 1954, nearly 12 million people passed through there on their way to calling the U.S. their new home. The north side of the island is a national museum, while the south side of the island is open to the public. Here's an interesting fact about the island. Although 2/3 of it is geographically located in New Jersey and 1/3 is in New York, it's also considered to be a part of Manhattan.
All crew members prepare for docking. May I have your attention, please? The ferry will be docking shortly. For your safety, all passengers are to remain off stairs, ramps, and landings until the ferry has come to a complete stop at the terminal. Remain behind the designated barriers for docking. Failure to do so could result in serious injury. Please check and ensure you have all your personal belongings with you as you leave the ferry. At no time are you allowed to leave any personal belongings unattended on the ferry. Thank you for riding the Staten Island Ferry.
As we approach the Whitehall Terminal, where we first started our trip on the Staten Island Ferry, and will be docking in a few minutes, be sure to enjoy the always impressive lower Manhattan skyline with a view of the World Trade Center. That's all for now. I'm your host, Craig Allen. Thanks for watching, and for more great videos, go to channelnyc.com.